Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hall, and this is your New Year angel reading for 2020. To celebrate the coming of each new year, I channel intuitive spiritual guidance through meditation with Archangel Michael. According to Archangel Michael, humanity is on a collective spiritual journey of birthing unity consciousness. Together, we're becoming more aware of our oneness. That oneness is both our origin and our destiny. And the more we come to realize and understand this, the greater our world resembles heaven, or a realm of pure love, kindness, and light. The angels are guiding us to support one another in returning to ancient spiritual truths and renewing them in the global mind. There are ancient human ancestors of ours who touched, knew, and embodied the consciousness of love at a very pure level of being. The memory of their knowledge is seated within our very DNA. And according to the angels, we, the souls who have elected to live in the physical paradigm now, intend deep within our spirits to help reclaim that ancient knowledge. Michael tells us that the key to awakening this ancient spiritual knowledge is no complicated secret. It is simple. Embody the consciousness of love that you are in truth. Bring love to all corners of your life, and do not fear. According to Archangel Michael, the divine truth is that there is nothing to fear, not even pain or suffering. Because suffering was not created by the divine source, in truth, it is not real. The eternal light from which all originated creates only with the substance of itself, and source's substance is pure love. So, on the matter of suffering, the divine is guiding you during this chapter of your spiritual path through life during 2020 to see suffering for what it really is, an illusion. And I know that that may be difficult or even confusing to hear, but the angels assure us with all understanding compassion, gentleness, and love that it is true. Suffering is an illusion born of the part of our consciousness that has only seemed to have fallen away from unity with Source, with the all-mind of pure divine love. Suffering is an illusion, like a shadow is an illusion. It seems to resemble the form of something that is real and solid, but as soon as the light shines upon it, it dissolves and becomes light. According to Archangel Michael, we may transform suffering when we align our power, our whole focus, our will, with the divine. Or in other words, when we invite God into our consciousness. Your consciousness holds within it a doorway that always leads straight to the all-loving eternal light of Source. If you knock on that door, it will open and all manner of transcendent healing miracles will emerge. The angels are teaching us during this new cycle of life and growth in 2020 to be liberated from all that is not our true nature of love and well-being. They invite us to begin engaging in this holy light work with them by offering loving kindness to any suffering that you see. Whether the suffering seems ordinary, common, and everyday, such as a stressful day, or more pronounced and deep, such as grieving the loss of a loved one or facing a serious illness. Offer everything and everyone loving kindness, including yourself. When you do so, when you open your heart deeply in kindness, separation dissolves, then fear dissolves, then suffering dissolves. In practicing this, you invite the divine to work holy miracles through you. Miracles that heal not only your life and those you touch, but also contribute to imprinting a new collective way upon this earth. And help us collectively to step more deeply into unity consciousness, to build our heaven on earth. Michael tells us that 2020 begins a new year and a new decade that will bring us many opportunities to work miracles by offering love and kindness to all that we meet, both within us and within the outer world. Miracles are both ordinary and extraordinary things that can be worked by anyone, and that includes you. I'd like to share with you on the topic of manifestation. When we begin each new year, we often think about setting new intentions or resolutions and hopefully finding a way to manifesting them. According to Archangel Michael, you can empower your intentions for manifestation by the manner in which you set your intentions. Michael invites us to set intentions from the consciousness of the higher self, or in other words, to surrender to God's intentions, to purify our focus such that we trust in the perfection and harmony of divine order, the higher will that sees and encompasses all, and include that in setting our intentions. For to surrender our consciousness to the higher consciousness is to enter into perfect well-being. To do that is to enter into a state in which you are so complete that you have transcended all earthly desires. In the course that I channeled from the angels on manifesting abundance, they teach us that, in truth, we are abundance. We are one with Source. Source is pure abundance, a pure infinite outpouring abundance. And so we are pure abundance too. To practice becoming one with the Source of all enables you to exude abundance and well-being in all that you touch and experience. And somewhere throughout this process, it comes to all beings that in order to attain the wholeness, safety, and oneness that we crave when we desire abundance, we must surrender our attachments to the little earthly things and trust. When we become pure abundance, we become less attached to needing that extra number of dollars to pay off the credit card, or to feel more at ease, or to buy that new object and feel more complete. Because we have become ease and completeness itself. So we don't need these little conditional things to create completeness. We embody that completeness when we let go of the illusion that we need X amount of dollars or successes or accomplishments before we will attain what we are looking for. Sacrifice the attachments and desires of the ego, surrender them so that you can become fulfillment itself. In becoming fulfillment itself, life has no choice but to then show up as every expression of fulfillment and completion and abundance that you could ever fathom. Whether it's showing up as money, the car, the house, or whatever. But by the time those things have miraculously arrived, you will not be their prisoner. You will not crave them so much because you will have realized that they are not the answer. God is what you were looking for all along. And so God is the answer. Michael is teaching us during this new cycle to embody the effortless, detached, pure manifestation of divine completeness that comes from sacrificing the ego's aims and focusing with pure faith and wholeness upon the divine intelligence that brings order, harmony, and perfection to all that is. So align with that and you'll experience it everywhere, at all realms. How do we practice manifesting from the higher self? Archangel Michael invites you to simply do this. When you notice a desire manifesting in your heart, ask the divine voice that rests inside of you, where does this desire come from? For example, maybe your desire is a new job. Ask yourself, why do I want a new job? You might hear answers like, well, I want more money and I want to spend my time doing something that makes me feel good. Makes sense, right? Then ask yourself the same question again. Why do I want this? Where does this desire come from? If you ask that question enough times, you will trace your feelings back to the fact that you're simply desiring God. With everything you want God. And it's only the part of us that operates under an illusion of having somehow fallen away from God that can possibly desire anything. We destroy that separation when we offer humble love and kindness to that part of ourselves. When we have healed the root of desire and obliterated all lack consciousness, the concept of being without, then we can only manifest pure abundance. Then we have merged our will with God's will, and we'll find that it's not we who manifest anything. Just as it's not the violin that makes the music alone. It cannot, because it's an instrument, and an instrument requires a musician to manifest the miracle of the music. If we are involved in manifesting anything in this world, it is because we have allowed ourselves to become instruments for a higher divine consciousness and power to express itself through us. That is in unity consciousness. As you seek to manifest the completeness and love and presence of God that you truly want in every desire that you will ever have, instead of praying for the winning lottery ticket or the perfect spouse or whatever other fleeting form your ego will give to your craving for completion in God, instead pray for the tools maybe to help you hold space for God sustainably in this life, to attain that feeling of unity and oneness. Tools such as patience, non-judgment. Pray for kindness, humility, and love. These are your best friends. These are the true treasures in manifesting what you really, really want and crave. And by the way, it's not that there's anything wrong with the winning lottery ticket or the perfect job or the perfect spouse. Those things are fine, depending on your relationship with them. But they aren't your source. They are not the source of the true completion, fulfillment, and unity with the eternal light that you have been seeking all along, in every moment, everything you've ever done in your life. They can be involved in temporarily helping you in expressing your unity with Source and your joy, but that's really quite unimportant. And in truth, those kinds of things only become cumbersome for many of us because it's so easy for us to become attached to those outer expressions to the extent that we mistake them as our source. And then start to put up more walls of separation between us and our truth, believing that that money or that house or that whatever is going to give us what only really Spirit can. The true richness of life, true manifestation of fulfillment comes from unity with the divine, embodying, in other words, the consciousness of love. So yes, have your New Year's intentions and resolutions and enjoy having them. But Michael is guiding us this year to ask your heart where they come from and remind your consciousness that your spirit is one with pure fulfillment already. Perhaps add in the intention to sacrifice your ego before it grows into something larger too. Perhaps also ask your angels to help you to learn to be patient, to be humble, to be flexible, and to be willing to let the universe school you in what you really need. Surrender the intentions of the lower self by offering them up to the divine. And then perhaps saying something like this, or better, God, or God's will be done. I intend and allow all that I attract to be in support of my highest spiritual good because I trust that higher intelligence. To make yourself humble in this way is to allow yourself to be an instrument of the highest form of divine manifestation possible. This year begins a new cycle of karmic healing and spiritual growth. We are approaching the beginning of a new energy cycle with the opportunity to offer renewed, purified, fresh, intentional devotion to our life's purpose of growth. So, what will this energy cycle be like in 2020? Well, the collective overarching cosmic energy of this year is very supportive for our karmic healing and spiritual growth, according to the angels. 2020 will bring in an abundance of creative and transformational opportunities, particularly if we're willing to go deep within self-discovery and stretch ourselves beyond our comfort zone to embrace change. This will allow all of our bonds in life with ourselves, relationship with the self, with others, and with God, with the divine, with the world, to become more intense and alive with love. Great expansion of the heart and mind is upon us. And this growth, the karmic learning and healing that you'll experience this year, is directly affecting the manifestation of your life's work. So there's going to be a theme of needing to be patient in your career, your life purpose goals, and other endeavors. Know that your inner healing and karmic lessons are influencing what you are creating and manifesting in those areas of life, and that this is for the good. So trust it. This year is bringing about a transformational start to a new decade. And much of the cosmic energy of this year will put pressure on old beliefs and patterns to help you purify what is not in support of your being in harmonious unity with your soul's higher intentions for this lifetime. Really, this year is all about manifesting amazing things, but we're doing the work for it. It is possible that some people might choose fear of lack in response to these big changes. Sometimes we do that when things get shaken up, but Archangel Michael reminds us of his words again: do not fear. Do not fear. In the face of change or intensity, humbly choose love. Choose to be loving rather than right, truthful rather than dishonest, and to give and serve rather than to fear and take. This will always lead you to love in all things, and help you to understand your soul's highest intentions for this lifetime better. According to the angels, truth is a big influencer in the global shifts of 2020. The collective human soul craves truth and is reaching for integrity as a very high priority. For those who are already working on aligning with their truth in their own lives, this could be a relatively easier process, and again, a year filled with incredibly beautiful creations, especially in your life's work and relationships too. If there's something in your life that is not in alignment with truth, however, karma will be here to expose this and help you face it, help you, so that you can live in a more light-filled life, unified with divine love, and fulfill your highest purpose. The angels are here with you on this year's journey to remind you that you are a being of light, and again, that when you offer loving kindness to suffering in any form, you work divine miracles. Remember that it is safe to walk outside the ego's comfort zone. It is safe because everywhere you go, you are home in the light. According to Archangel Michael, seeming challenges become easy when you stop resisting them, when you open your heart and mind to them. So surrender and go into trust and love in response to all that you meet, especially the challenges. These are your opportunities to launch yourself and this world into God, because your desire to reach God is often strongest in challenging moments. And so challenges are catalysts into holy unity, potentially. And that's a gift, really. Also, just a side note, Western New Age pop spirituality unfortunately likes to advertise that we're only spiritually aligned when we're comfortable, happy, rich, successful, and so forth. These are toxic notions that literally do the opposite of helping you to align with Source. I see so many people in my work feeling guilty or badly about themselves, or as if they're spiritually imperfect because they don't have the perfect life. And the angels want to dispel that. They want you to love yourself and to embrace challenges and to know that they are a part of life that can even help us. This quote-unquote spiritual notion that you have to be perfect in order to be spiritual, have this perfect life, is ego manufactured. It's an ego manufactured device that triggers the ego to constantly pull your attention away from the real spiritual work that life is handing you. So again, challenges are okay. They're part of life. Experiencing a challenge doesn't mean that you're failing at law of attraction. For example, Jesus was one of our most enlightened beings of love and fully embodied the Christ consciousness or Buddha nature, whatever you'd like to call it, and yet still experienced challenges. He was crucified. The goal of spirituality is not to escape suffering by ignoring negativity and focusing only on positive things so that you can be perfectly comfortable, perfectly rich, perfectly successful, and perfectly happy all the time. Spirituality invites us to face suffering, to expose the ego, and to heal it by offering love and purity and presence. That is the miracle. This isn't always a comfortable process, isn't always easy, but this is a gift. It is a powerful opportunity to do what we came here to do as light workers, and I think that's exciting. So the angels invite us to be patient, and humble, and to call upon them through this journey of spiritual growth and any karmic healing that comes to you this year. They will work to strengthen us each step of the way by teaching patience, kindness, love, humility, faith, and compassion. So, my prayer for all of us together is, may our egos crumble gloriously this year, even if it hurts. And may we be brave and strong enough to blaze through that beautiful, safe, and healing destruction with faith and trust in the light. Let your soul open to the eternal light, and remember that you are the consciousness of pure love. Now I'm going to share a little bit more about the energy that we're entering into from both a numerology perspective and astrological perspective, with the help of the angels' guidance and messages, of course. So in the tradition of numerology, we explore the mysterious connection that lies between what is expressed in the numbers that can be calculated in the world around us and the useful, meaningful knowledge that they supply. This is really not all that different when you think about it from mathematics, because it can be said of mathematics too that it's also an exploration of observable numbers in nature, and that as we observe them, they help reveal information that is used to engineer cities or to write symphonies and do many other things. Numerology seeks to look at how those numbers can also offer us information at a spiritual level, because they can. Spiritual, mental, physical, all planes are one, connected. 2020 is a 4 universal year in numerology. 4 is a healing and supporting energy that is aligned with the frequency of the angelic realm. It is a number that represents divine order, unity, family, stability, love, peace, and protecting and holding space for those things within our hearts sustainably, through learning to build grounded, healthy structures in our lives, through learning responsibility, emotional balance, moderation, conservation, and what it takes for long-lasting security and success for those higher values. Amazingly, this coincides perfectly with a lot of the major overarching astrological themes that will shape 2020 and the new decade that will fruit from it as well. So during 2020, the planet Jupiter, which represents our spiritual perspective, will be journeying through the sign of pragmatic Capricorn, which is ruled by the karmic teacher Saturn. So we've got that karma theme coming back in. There's an overarching energetic pull and support that we're thus receiving for grounding our spiritual vision this year. Capricorn is an earth sign, so we're grounding spiritual vision practically, especially where it pertains to our life's purpose. So get ready for this year to potentially reshape and evolve your sense of what you were put on this earth to do and why, and for this energy to help you with getting more grounded, practical, and wise with regard to your approach and your action steps to bring forth your intentions and your life purpose in a physical, earthly sense. While we're on this journey, there will be many opportunities to be humbled by karmic teachers that enter into your life. Collectively, we are working to purge out imbalances in power structures and to root our world in the energy of goodwill and integrity, rather than lack consciousness and greed. So, if you meet with personal challenges this year, simply breathe, calm your heart, call upon the angels, and open yourself to the divine with trust that this is an opportunity to expand the consciousness of love. So let's start with the first quarter of this year. The energy that we'll be experiencing from January, February, and through March. The oracle card that I pulled for this quarter of the year is the water card. Water. And these cards that I pulled are from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck by Villaldo, Baron Reed, and Lobos. So the water card is significant because water is an element that is both destructive and creative. It is a highly movable, flexible substance and the building block to all we have in the physical world. Water appears to tell us that January through March will bring us powerful opportunities to cleanse, destroy, or release old structures that do not serve us, so that we can then nurture and grow the new seeds that we have planted at the beginning of the year. So big, powerful creation in that first quarter. One of our biggest astrological energy shifts of the entire year is actually occurring this January. After the January 10th lunar eclipse, on January 12th, we have a powerful planetary event in which Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury will conjunct in Capricorn. The theme of this energy is essentially purification. We're likely going to see a huge opportunity to break down old structures of the shadow, to go within and to purify our lives, to create a new support that will guide us beyond 2020 and even into the next 5 years. Very important shifts happening. I'll be giving lots of details on this specifically in my full moon lunar eclipse reading, so do keep an eye out for that video as well if you want to learn a little more detail on that. Then we're going to have the March 19th equinox to look forward to in that same first quarter of the year. The energy around this time will continue to shake up old, worn out structures, but it will also set the stage for growth because it will help us rearrange our priorities and really get motivated to make our lives better vessels for creating what we want to create. So get ready for lots of intense potential for work and recreation. All of this leads to a shift for the second quarter of 2020 because April brings us big shifts in power structures in our lives, shifting our perspective on long-term goals and teaching us how to transcend the limits of the past. This is a great time for rebalancing and focusing on balancing all the different aspects of your life. So your work life, to your home life, to your relationships, to your health, everything balanced. Now, the card I pulled for the second quarter of 2020 from April through June is the Holy Mountain. The Holy Mountain. The Holy Mountain represents the challenge of spiritual work, the climbing to a high place of big, expansive perspective, wherein one receives a purification of consciousness and often messages from the divine. So on May 13th, we have Venus stationing retrograde until June 25th, and this will occur through a sequence of eclipses. Also, solstice is happening during that time, and a Mercury retrograde is also happening in Cancer. So what does all of that mean? Well, this is going to be a period that will bring us a big opportunity to pioneer new perspectives and values while making vital changes in our personal relationships. We may see opportunities for social change, and again, more shifts around the structures of power. That's a big theme this year, shaking them up and bringing them into integrity. Both self-empowerment and collective empowerment, by the way, will occur through unity with Source and transcendence of fear, so that we can also unite with one another. That's the goal of this shaking up of power structures. So in order to achieve true empowerment, we must break down fear-based structures that limit real spiritual power. That's the message from the angels. Whatever changes are set into motion in your life during that eclipse season that lasts from June to July, by the way, will be further intensified when Mars stations retrograde in Aries on September 9th. This will be a big, deep time for going within. Another opportunity to heal and cleanse the shadow this year will be happening around September, and to discover your inner truth. So the card I pulled for the third quarter of 2020, from July through August and September, is the Sweat Lodge. The Sweat Lodge. Powerful card. Which is such a synchronicity because Sweat Lodge ceremonies are powerful places for shadow work, for purging out impurities and finding your strength, purpose, and truth. That is the theme for July through September. We'll have the opportunity to work to heal the self by purging out fear and embracing light in our own choices, in our prayers, and in our inner spiritual work. If any challenges arise in your personal life, simply use them as catalysts of energy that may help you to drive your focus deeper within and through your personal inner spiritual doorway to God. Now, The fourth quarter of 2020 is one that will set the stage for an era of growth, innovation, and healing reform that will last 139 years. The defining astrological event of 2020 is going to be occurring on the solstice of December 21st, 2020, in which Jupiter and Saturn will be conjunct. This is going to establish an astrological era in which Jupiter and Saturn will be uniting in air signs until the year 2159. Wow. So new waves of consciousness will be flowing in during that time. And we're building up to that December 21st, 2020 solstice with so many important cosmic energies that will be helping us to really resolve and release this year's work of destroying old forms and holding space for new, higher consciousness aspirations. We're all doing very important work together this year. It's amazing. The card I pulled for October, November, and December of 2020 is the Ancient Ones. The Ancient Ones. Wow. So this card to me is a big synchronicity because in the beginning of this video, if you remember, one of Archangel Michael's messages that I shared was on the idea that our collective spiritual journey is helping us to recover and rebirth wisdom and knowledge from our ancient ancestors. Isn't it wild that this card came up at the end of the reading just to kind of bring us full circle to remind us of this? I wasn't really expecting it, but amazing things happen when you communicate with the angels, with the guides. So the Ancient Ones card. This card appears as a reference to the fact that everything that will happen has already happened. The angels are communicating that somewhere outside of time, there is a truth in which we have already reached pure unity with one another and with the eternal light that gave rise to all creation. Ancient ancestors, ascended masters, and wise ones live among us and guide us from the spirit world. They are assuring us here and now that the human journey is one of unfathomable purpose and meaning. From our perspective within the scope of time, we may not yet be able to understand that purpose the same way that they who have transcended time understand it. But have faith, I'm hearing them say. Have faith that what you are doing here with your life is necessary, beautiful, beautiful part of the expansion of the cosmic all heart, all mind. We are all unified here within the heart of the multiverse, even now. We all have access to all of its love, wisdom, and creative ability now. And when we tap into its full potential, oh, the beauty that we will create together. We as human beings are beloved by heaven now and always, they are saying. And we are never alone or without guidance and nurturing in anything that we do. So they're guiding us. Reach back into the ancient ways on your path of spiritual discovery. Reach back, they're saying, to the wisdom that channeled through beings like Lao Tzu, the Buddha, the Christ, and so forth. Our ancestors have already told us everything that we need to know about creating the heavenly unity that we desire with every fiber of our beings for planet Earth. And isn't it an exciting and beautiful thing that we are alive and participating in all of that creation together now? I think that it really is, and I'm grateful for sharing that with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. My love and prayers go with you throughout this new year and cycle of spiritual development. I would be honored if you would like to keep in touch with me this year so that we can continue to share all that we learn in spirit together. So do subscribe to my channel for more angel messages. Keep in touch with me on social media via the links that you will find in the description below. And if you'd like to work with me personally through an angel reading or a healing session, or through one of my online courses, you can learn more by visiting my website at sarahhall.com. I love you all so much, and I hope that you will have a beautiful, healing, and empowering, blessed new year. Know until we meet again that you are so loved and so very blessed, as always. Bye!